What's up everybody, this is Jack T here, and today we're in a very special car. This car is a 2013 SLS AMG GT. Now for those of you that don't know about this car, it's a very rare car and it has a 6.3 liter naturally aspirated V8 in there that produces about 583 horsepower and like 480 pounds of torque. This car is an amazing car to drive, and let's get right into this review. The car itself, you keep the keys in your pocket, it's a push to start, so listen to that 6.3 liter AMG V8 and how it sounds. So the shifter itself, it's an automatic car, so you just put it all the way down for drive, up for reverse, and just halfway down for neutral. It does come with a backup camera. It has this whole screen in the middle. The crazy part about this car, besides how fast and everything it is kind of the presence it commands. Driving this car, people tend to look at you, and especially since I'm the one driving this car and I'm kind of a younger guy, they're always looking at me like, whoa, how was that guy in that car? It's a really fun car to drive. It has a crazy exhaust. How do I put this? It's not the loudest car I've ever heard, but when it comes to how finely tuned the sound is, this is up there with probably the best car I've ever heard, just because it pops and crackles. It's loud, but it's not loud enough to put you in a bad day. It's not annoying. It every time you hear it, it just puts you in a good mood. The hood itself, one of the drawbacks, not even a drawback, just something that you have to get used to, is the hood is really long, and that's coming from me who has an American muscle car, and I've driven a lot of other cars with really big hoods, really big engines, but this one takes the cake for the longest hood, and that's just because of that massive 6.3 liter V8 that's in there. Some of the other features of this car, besides the horsepower and everything, is the interior is only two seats. So how most coupes will have a back car, this is like a GT car, which is basically a Grand Tour. I think that's what it meant. This is some of the cars that really are only meant for cruising, but with that, the car is very low. You have to be careful entering parking lots, you have to be careful going over bumps and things like that. The car is very low, but with that, it turns really well, it feels really nice. All right, listen to this exhaust as we get onto the freeway. It's just insanely fast. And the craziest part about how fast this car is you never feel like it's out of control. The only thing that is bad about the speed is how fast the people in front of you can come close to the front of your car. That wasn't even me passing speed limit. I was still going speed limit, but the way it accelerates to that speed is insane. It just rips you and throws you in the back of your seat I've never experienced something like this, and I've had this much fun in a car, I don't think ever. I've been driving it around for probably an hour and a half right now, so I'm a little bit more experienced with this car and how everything works with it. The handling is really well. Right now we're on the freeway, so you can't really tell. It has the little wing in the back, there's a button right here. You press it, the wing goes up and down. It has some nice, I believe there are 20-inch AMG rims on there with the nice big brake calipers. One thing you'll notice though when you get in the car and you start driving over things, especially those little things on the freeway that separate the lanes, you notice that really you do feel every bump and everything. This isn't a car that you could daily drive by any means. A lot of cars you could daily drive, a lot of fast cars like the Corvette and stuff are daily drivers. This, on the other hand, this is a weekend car. This is the type of car that you buy when you're just trying to have some fun, and you have something else that you could daily drive, because it's comfortable for a limited amount of time. After a little while, you're all right, I need to be in something a little bit more comfortable. It's not like anything hurts. It's not like you get back pain from the car, but it's definitely one of those cars where you feel the road a lot. The inside is kind of cramped, so keep that in mind if you're ever willing to buy this car. This car only has about 9,000 miles on it right now. It's from a company called Welten Exotics. Welten Exotics is this company with luxury car rentals, some really insane cars, and they provided us a deal, so I'm able to get some of these really nice cars out for you guys and review them. So stay tuned for some really nice cars coming in the future besides just this SLS. We've been recording all day with it, and some of the things that we've noticed is the power band. Driving it like this, it feels like just any other, yeah, you hear the exhaust and it sounds insane, but you're not going crazy fast. Whereas when you pass 3,500, 4,000 RPM, that's when the car just throws you in the back of your seat and you gotta hold on tight. It's like a roller coaster ride. It's insanely fun and it's just crazy. So one of the things you'll notice also about this car with the handling is it just inspires confidence. When you throw it into a corner or anything like that, you can put your foot on the pedal and you don't have to worry about losing traction. This is me coming from my car, so it's a much lower end car, of course, but I've driven some nice cars, but this is one of those cars, because it's so low to the floor, it's very easy to throw it into a corner, very easy to turn. You feel like you have to do nothing. You're very comfortable driving this car, even though it's such a high horsepower car. And to be honest, before I got in it, I thought, because I've driven some cars that just the raw power, the raw power is there in this car, but it's a controlled raw power. Mercedes really hit it on the head when making sure that this car is finely tuned and making sure that while it is a fast car, anybody who drives it isn't going to feel out of place. Like, you don't need to have practice with a fast car. This is the fastest car I've ever driven. It does 0 to 60 in probably around 3.5 seconds. Braking times are really nice too. This is the last year, I believe, before they started changing it and they started adding the Black Series and everything. It does have a couple safety features, like if you're turning, it has the monitor, it tells you if there's somebody next to you or not. It has the backup camera, it has a really nice screen in here. For what it is, the interior looks really nice. It's just not that comfortable, to be honest. This is probably as far as the back seat goes. Any further back and the seat starts kind of like stiffening up, so you kind of have to sit up straight like that. But besides that, it's really nice. You know, the nice flat bottom steering wheel. The flat bottom steering wheel helps, especially if you're like turning, or you're like let's say you take it to the track and you're trying to throw it into a corner, then you don't have to worry about it hitting your legs, even though there's a good amount of leg room in between you and the thing. The leg room isn't too bad. I would enjoy a little bit more, and my head is like almost touching the ceiling at this point, but really it's like a claustrophobic car, but with everything it is, like, it has visibility. It's probably less than the Camaro, but with all of the things that this car has added on it, like the side view mirror, monitors, the backup camera and everything, you can't really tell. And to be honest, if you want to pass anybody on the freeway, it's never going to be a problem because they're probably not going to be able to catch up to you. Honestly, just this car is so fun to drive. I don't know how many times I could say that. One of the things that happened though is when I first got out of the car, so the car has the going doors, so they open up and they go up. So one of the things you'll notice is if you're kind of on the shorter side, you kind of have to get up out of your seat to pull it back down. I'll show you guys probably a little later on what exactly it looks like. And then let's say you're tall like me, getting in and closing the door is no problem, but when I got in the car and closed the door, I hit my head. When I got out of the car and I opened the door, I hit my head on the door because I completely forgot it was there. So it does have, it's like, because of the design choices, it does have some weird things that you have to get used to, but with a car this fun, it's something that you'll get used to nice and easy. We're going to be taking the car onto some back roads right now, so you'll see how it performs over there. But besides that, you know, so far I'm very impressed with this car. One of the things you'll notice though is, so it's in drive. There is no, like, you can't put it from the drive into another type of a drive mode. There's the Sport Plus manual, there's the RS, I don't know what the RS does. But basically when you're in just regular drive, they have the paddle shifters alongside the steering wheel. If you press the paddle shifters, it automatically starts doing the shifting, and then if you go long enough without having pressed anything, and then that's when it just kind of like slowly gets itself back into just regular drive. Right now it's regular drive, that's why I don't have to press the paddles. But on that note, the paddles are just so nice feeling. You know, you click it, it makes this nice sound, and you're already in the next gear. It's beautiful, and how quickly it shifts is just really nice. You know, you don't ever have to worry about shifting and it not going into the gear that you want it to, because it is going to go into the gear that you want it to go into. The steering wheel is really nice. This whole car, the outside is white, so I really like the color, the beautiful white, and just really in the sun and just around other things, it looks very exotic, very nice. And I guess that's probably why it's in a company called Welten Exotics, because really the white color just stands out. Of course, it's not like, if you were to have like a red or a green one, yes, more people notice it, but just the white stands out as like very high class luxury. But at the same time, the way this car looks, you can tell it's not a luxury car. It's just beautiful. I really love the way the car looks. The inside has like this brown to like cream colored stitching, and leather, and then the stitching is white stitching, and the steering wheel as well, it has like parts black too, and just the colors and everything really put the car in together like very nicely. I really enjoy how this car, if you really enjoy the power, if you enjoy like speed, if you enjoy the way this car sounds, this is a car that I recommend you get. Of course, Welten Exotics, the way it does it with the letting you rent out cars like this is what makes them so special, and what makes this company really nice is you can rent out a car like this and see if it's the type of car for you. For example, me, I now understand that this car is something that you could do as a race car, but you definitely cannot do as a daily driver, because it doesn't work, you know. There is too much going on that you feel from the road that you can't daily drive this, but it's definitely a car that you could do as a race car. If you guys like this video as much as I enjoyed making this video, leave a thumbs up, comment below what kind of cars you guys want to see upcoming in the next couple of weeks, because there are some really nice cars that I'm not going to spoil for you next. But just know that this is a nice car, but there's cars that I'm even more excited to do for you guys, so stay tuned for that. As always, this has been Jack T. Leave a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next video.
never just slip your way. I gave up taking carefree trips to the bay. Cali bound is cause I gotta flip.